Every night, my mother reads the Bible to my little brother and I. We follow the same routine. We sit down in the living room as she reads the chapter. We hold hands and pray. Followed by that, we go about and disperse into our quarters. This routine of my life is something I haven't noticed much until now. Worshipping my God and taking part in Christian activities is a strong fundamental in my life, yet now I ask myself about the established and pre-established relations that I have with God. Not in a manner that promotes doubt of my religion, but one that attempts to draw a closer connection and understanding in who I believe. This relationship that I have with God, I compare to the relations that I have with my artwork. I have complete knowledge of the outcome for the most part. I know what I want to create before I do, and I love my work profoundly. However, one day while attempting to use the rest of my midnight oils to create artwork, I made a mistake and had thrown said art in the garbage. Then the thought had arose of creation and destruction, that if God can create, surely he can destroy. Yet why would an all-loving God want to destroy his creation? Perhaps it's why I destroyed mine. Mistakes, the constant inconsistencies of human error. I haven't made much art as of late. I'd often sit down and ponder about these relations between artist and art, creator and creation. Then I had applied this notion further to parent and child, romance and heartbreak, order and chaos, life and death, dualities and processes that form a basic idea of the human experience. And my mind went back to the relationship that I have with my art, compared to the relationship that God has with his creations, and this growing philosophy of mine taking spotlight in my most recent works. My 5-page comic book, for example, gave me a possible answer to the question of why would a loving God destroy his creation? Named God and Monkey, this story sees a divine entity and a monkey going through a discourse of why humanity needs to be destroyed. And in the end of this short story, God decides to follow through with killing humanity, and the monkey, who represents a childlike optimism, can do nothing but watch. When creating this dialogue, I had come to the realization that perhaps the purest form of some aspect in life, for example, the dualities that I had previously mentioned, are pure when they have no interaction with reality. The art I create is in its purest and best form when there is no such thing as reality to disrupt its place in my world. There are no mistakes. There are no misconceptions. Just an image created from my experience of the world. Perhaps this idea of perfection is put on us by God, like how a parent strives for their child to be a model student in class. Perfection. Perhaps the idea of humanity was in its purest form before having touched the earth or encountering that simple apple tree. I'm still debating this idea. Unlike God, I am finite. Though we are people given the ability to change in mind and body, said change, a constant in our lives until we decide to settle and fade, becoming an echo in our predecessors. Unlike that, God lasts forever. Perhaps my endeavor to understand God doesn't really make much sense, being flesh and bone compared to infinity. Perhaps my relation to God is attempting to grasp and connect to someone that's unreachable.